Let's begin the broadcast with the politics that's playing out after the centre slashed the excise duty on fuel prices. War of words intensifying on the same. Nirmala Sitharaman has now rebutted the claims of the Congress party, saying that the basic excise duty, which is shareable with the states, has not been touched. She asserted that the centre is bearing the cost of two duty cuts made in November last year and yesterday. This comes after the Congress party alleged that the centre is fooling the aadmi by cutting down the price of fuel marginally. Hina Gambhir on the phone line with us. Hina, now the charge that had been made by the Congress party, in fact, Rahul Gandhi had tweeted on the same as well, saying that the prices were quite high compared to what the prices were in 2020. There was a big increase, after which there has only been a slight cut. So essentially, the prices still remain high.
Well, that's right. Ever since Centre has decided to slash excise duty on petrol and diesel amid rising inflation, we are seeing reactions coming from various political parties. Now, in a way, it's a point-by-point rebuttal that has come from Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman herself, who says, and I quote, good to see the interest generated by PMO India Narendra Modi's decision yesterday to bring an excise duty cut on petrol and diesel. Now she has, like I said, she has given a point-by-point rebuttal. So she said that there is a basic excise duty, there is a special additional excise duty, and there is road infrastructure cess and agriculture infrastructure development cess. And all this together is excise duty on petrol and diesel. Now she says that basic excise duty is shareable with states. And excise duty reduction that has happened of 8 litre on petrol and 6 litre on diesel is actually from the road and infrastructure cess. So if we are, say, for example, paying 32 rupees as excise duty on petrol that is going to centre, that's divided into 4 different components. One is shared with the states. And the cut that has happened yesterday is not from the one that is shared with states, it's from the other part of the excise duty. So this is a clarification that has come from the finance minister's side. She says that basic excise duty, which is shareable with states, has not been touched. In simple words, this is not going to have any sort of an impact on the money that centre shares with states from the excise duty that it collects on petrol and diesel. We'll have to wait and see now how the reactions come from other political parties. In fact, a short while ago, we had a reaction coming from former Finance Minister of Kerala as well, Mr. Thomas Isaac, who also again raised a question mark on this reduction that has come in yesterday from the centre.
Okay, all right. Hina, thank you for joining us. In fact, we have Mayank also joining us with more details on that. Mayank, politics now playing out over the issue. First, of course, the centre previously as well has asked the states also to cut their taxes. Back then, the questions had been posed back to the centre. Now that the centre has cut the excise duty on that, it's now on the states on whether they reduce the taxes or not.
Well, exactly, the pricing of the fuel and that the component, the pricing has become a flashpoint between the BJP and the other political parties. Remember, the Finance Minister of Tamil Nadu, Palinivel Thiagarajan, was the first to, point out that when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tried to encourage the states to, bring down their shares of the tax. So he was quick to point out that the central earns most from the revenue, most of the revenue from the taxes imposed on the fuel in the country, and that's why it should be the centre who has the more obligation to reduce the taxes and not the state. However, in the rebuttal that has come just just half an hour before from now from the Finance Minister, she clearly mentions that, the very fact that Finance Minister of Tamil Nadu, sparked that the centre has more obligations. So she has clearly explained that the cost that will, incur due to this reduction in the cess on petrol and diesel will be incurred only by the central government and not by the states, because this is a reduction in the cess, the road and the developmental cess, and not with the that component that is shareable with the states. And remember, I would like to point out here that this cess is the exact component of this fuel pricing in this country that has always attracted controversy from the opposition, because opposition parties has always been saying that the central government played a tricky method in the pricing of the fuel, that they have not increased the cess that are shareable with the states. Rather, they impose the different cesses during the time of pandemic, so that they don't have to share the extra revenue they earn from the fuel to the to the
so
state.
the politics, Mayank, really playing out over that. In fact, the claim that had been made by the Congress party, apart from what Rahul Gandhi has said, is that the state share has been reduced. Now, this is a claim that the finance minister has now clarified, saying that has remained completely untouched. Let's play out that reaction for you.
नमस्कार। महंगाई कमर तोड़ रही है, पेट्रोल और डीजल के दामों में आग लगी हुई थी और आज मोदी सरकार ने बहुत बड़ा एहसान किया और एक्साइज ड्यूटी को घटाया गया है। और जैसा कि अपेक्षित था, नोएडा के कमांडो वॉरियर एंकरों में तो मान लो दिवाली मनने लगी और कितना बड़ा काम मोदी सरकार ने कर दिया। लेकिन आइए थोड़ी सी तफ्तीश करते हैं और थोड़ी सी असलियत समझते हैं आखिर किया क्या है। पेट्रोल का दाम अभी 105 रुपए 41 पैसे प्रति लीटर है। पिछले 2 महीनों में ये 10 रुपया प्रति लीटर बढ़ा था और अब ये 9 रुपए 50 पैसे प्रति लीटर घटाया जाएगा एक्साइज ड्यूटी के कट से। डीजल का दाम 96 रुपए 67 पैसे प्रति लीटर था, ये भी 10 रुपए बढ़ा था पिछले 2 महीनों में चुनावों के बाद, और ये 7 रुपए से कम होगा। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि दोनों दाम 2 महीने के पहले वाला जो लेवल था उससे ऊपर ही रहेंगे, उसके नीचे नहीं जाएंगे। 2 महीनों में 10-10 रुपए की बढ़त हुई थी पेट्रोल और डीजल पर। तो पहली बात ये कहनी जरूरी है कि जस का तस मामला 2 महीने पहले का हुआ है। अब आइए बात करते हैं कि 2014 में
So this was Supriya Shire, the Congress leader, saying that the taxes of the states have been cut by the centre. So for the centre, it's not much of a change at all. So the finance minister responding to that, making it clear that the taxes of the states have not been touched at all. But politics over the issue continues to play out, with few Congress as well as the DMK leaders questioning the centre, saying it's too little too late, while there has been no reduction from these governments.
कल वित्त मंत्री जी ने कुल 12 ट्वीट किए, पर एक ट्वीट बड़ा रोचक था। उसमें उन्होंने पेट्रोल और डीजल पर जो एक्साइज ड्यूटी केंद्र सरकार ले रही है, ये कौन सा गणित है कि आप पहले पिछले 60 दिनों में पेट्रोल के दाम 10 रुपए बढ़ा दो और फिर पेट्रोल के ऊपर एक्साइज ड्यूटी आप 8 रुपए घटा दो। वो कौन सा गणित है कम करने का, जिसमें 60 दिनों में डीजल के दाम में आप पिछले 60 दिनों में 10 रुपए बढ़ा दो और 7 रुपए कम कर दो।
कम क्या हुआ है आज कम हुआ है सेंट्रल बेसिक एक्साइज, मतलब जो राज्यों के साथ साझा होनी थी वही कम हुई है। तो ये जो तमाम लोग कह रहे हैं राज्य भी कम करे, राज्य भी कम करे, उनको सबसे पहले एक बात समझ में आने वाली ये है, और वो अंतिम बात है, कि 1 रुपए की अगर बेसिक सेंट्रल एक्साइज कम होती है तो सेंटर का 59 पैसा और स्टेट्स ने 41 पैसा कम ऑलरेडी कर दिया है, क्योंकि ये पैसा, ये शेयर स्टेट्स को जाता। और जो लोग वैट का बार बार नाम ले रहे हैं उनको मैं ये बताना चाहती हूं कि वैट एक एड वैलोरम टैक्स होता है, वो एक्साइज पे डिपेंड करता है, और अगर एक्साइज कम हुई तो वैट अपने आप कम होगा। लेकिन कुछ भी करने से पहले सरकार ने, क्योंकि सेंट्रल एक्साइज को कम किया है, ऑलरेडी स्टेट्स ने प्रति 1 रुपए पर 41 पैसा अपने आप स्वतः स्टेट्स का कम हो गया है। तो इस माया जाल को समझने की इसलिए जरूरत है क्योंकि ये लोग ये नहीं बताएंगे कि पेट्रोल और डीजल के दामों में आग क्यों लगी। ये कहेंगे वैश्विक दिक्कतें हैं। ये दाम क्रूड ऑयल के $20 प्रति बैरल पर भी आए थे, तब भी रियायत नहीं दी गई थी। आज भी ये आधी अधूरी सहायता है और पता नहीं कितना वक्त लगेगा फिर से ये 9.5 रुपए।
मोदी है तो मुश्किल है। क्यों मुश्किल है? मोदी है तो मुश्किल है। क्यों मुश्किल है? क्योंकि आज जीडीपी पाताल में है और महंगाई आसमान में है। मोदी है तो सिलेंडर का दाम 1000 के ऊपर है, पेट्रोल का दाम 120 के ऊपर है, डीजल का दाम 105 के ऊपर है, तेल महंगा है, नमक महंगा है, दाल महंगा है, कैसे जिएंगे लोग? ये एमपी साहब आप बताओ, अमेरिका में जाके नॉर्मल झूठ मूठ बात मत बताओ, ये सारे बातें बताओ। रुपये का जो वैल्यूएशन है वो पाताल में है, लेकिन बेरोजगारी जो है वो आसमान में है।
It is a long-standing demand of the Indian people, because continuously the price of the diesel and petrol were increasing, and it went beyond the capacity of the common people. So because of that, people are suffering severely. They demanded it should be removed, and government is making income. Government in last few years, they earned 23 lakh rupees from the extra price. So yeah, you are making the price. Now country is in trouble. Now you share this benefit to the people. So ultimately they found that price rise is becoming out of control. So they have taken. It is good that they have accepted the people's demand to some extent.
आज पूरी दुनिया में आर्थिक तंगी और मंदी का दौर चल रहा है। सप्लाई चेन बुरी तरह से बाधित हुई है। चारों तरफ जो है वो किल्लत और क्राइसिस से पूरी दुनिया जूझ रही है, ये किसी से छिपा नहीं है। इसके बावजूद भी हमारे देश के लोगों को इस पूरी दुनिया में जो आर्थिक तंगी और मंदी का दौर चल रहा है, आर्थिक क्राइसिस का दौर चल रहा है, आर्थिक किल्लत का दौर चल रहा है, उससे हमारे देश के लोगों को कम से कम नुकसान हो, कम से कम उससे वो प्रभावित हों, इसके लिए लगातार उन्होंने काम किया है। और जो एक्साइज ड्यूटी घटाई गई है उसका ही एक नतीजा है और एक ही उदाहरण है।
I go by the proportionate part. Even if I accept the logic. But whatever has been done, proportionally they should also come forward. And then they can have a right to ask a question. But none of the states which are ruled by opposition are doing it. Even today the petrol price, the fuel price is highest in Maharashtra. Why so? Or in Rajasthan. Why so? The Congress or Congress supported states. So our request is for the country, if the central government, Prime Minister Modi and Nirmala Sitharaman has taken initiative, where they cut the prices of the fuel and the gas both. So they should also come forward and help people in this time of crisis when there is a international crisis of fuel going on.
So politics playing out over the issue, but Centre's announcement has brought in big relief for the Aam Aadmi. Question now is whether the states will also reduce VAT on the fuel prices. We're slipping into a short